Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our webinar, Tips for Taking ITSM Beyond IT. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Julie, and I am in the business development team here. And just really quickly, some of the tips that we're going to be going over in the next hour and covering. Lexington School District will be presenting. They provide a range of services for their 30 schools. And they're going to show you just how quickly and easily they're able to address their clients' requirements. They will show your dashboards and just how quickly they're able to get drill down metrics out of the system for their management team. And afterwards, we will answer your questions and do the gift card drawing. Today's presenters will be Ben Sellers. He is the Senior Systems Analyst at Lexington County School District 1. And Vishu Nayagam. He is our Director of Product Engineering here at BOSS. Just a few quick notes. Everyone will be muted during the webinar. But we really want your questions. So you will notice a questions window. Please, anytime during the presentation that you think of a question, please put it in the window. Afterwards, we will be answering as many of the questions as we possibly can. This webinar is being recorded, so it will be sent out to everyone afterwards, and you're welcome to share it with your coworkers. We will actually ask you to do just a short survey after the webinar. We really appreciate any feedback that you have. It means a lot to us. Just a brief overview in case, for those of you that do not know BOSS Solutions, we've been doing service management for over 25 years. We actually have a product line of 3 different products. BOSS Desk, which is our service desk on the cloud, our on-premise BOSS Support Central, and a solution for the damage prevention industry called BOSS 811. We're also very honored for the 2nd year in the row to be at the very top of the front runners list. So we are very committed to support with our in-house support teams, and we look forward to supplying you with the latest in technology. Today's feature presentation will be tips for taking ITSM Beyond IT, and that's going to be done by Ben Sellers. And he, of course, has 30 different schools, so quite a workload. But first, I'm going to hand it over to Vishu Nayagam, our Director of Product Engineering. He's going to give us a slight overview. Vishu?
Thank you, Julie. Thank you, Julie. Can you see the screen? Yeah. I'll give you a quick overview of BOSS Desk, run through all the capabilities of the BOSS Desk. This BOSS Desk is a completely ITSM-based solutions. It's completely cloud-based solutions, and it's a browser-based solution. It works on all modern browsers, i.e. Firefox, Chrome. It also comes with a mobile app for your Android and iOS platforms. BOSS Desk incorporates a lot of ITL processes like asset management, software management, vendor management, contract management, purchase order management. And also on the help desk side, we have incident management, problem management, change management. We have a beautiful self-service portal for your end user, greater end user adoption. We have service catalog. We have form designers. We have dashboard and reporting. Each user gets their own dashboards. And also this product you can leverage is not just an IT help desk product. You can leverage this product across all your departments and divisions. And BOSS Desk has a self-service portal, and I'll quickly show you the self-service portal here in a minute. This is BOSS Desk self-service portal, and BOSS Desk integrates with the Active Directory, where you can bring every users and computers from your Active Directory into Boss Desk. You do not have to create a user account in Boss Desk. It can directly integrate with your Active Directory, so your end users and all your users can log and use your Active Directory credentials. Boss Desk also comes with a password reset module where they will be able to self-service password reset kind of problems. So the end user is based on who is logging into the system, they can completely, the Boss Desk can be completely, all the service catalogs can be targeted to them. It comes with a beautiful knowledge base. It comes with a rich text knowledge base. You can add pictures, videos, and everything into that document, and they'll be able to see this. They'll be able to do a self-service on this knowledge base also. It also has a beautiful self-service catalog. So we have service categories. These are the service categories you provide services for. So this is totally different from your ticket category. This is what your end user relates to. And these forms can be totally designed by your organization. We give you a beautiful form designer, and you can design whatever custom form you need. And there is no coding skill necessary for this thing. And each and every form can be put together in under 5 to 10 minutes if you know what you want to do, right? And all these forms can be targeted to different departments. So if a HR user comes in, he can see HR specific form. You can target maintenance. And Ben will be showing some of the forms, how he has put together the service catalog for his school system. So these can be targeted. This can be, you can have a workflow behind this thing. So these requests can be automatically routed in Boss Desk, however you want it to be. So any manual process you have can be completely automated using Boss Desk. And we can create different tasks based on what is selected by the end users. So if somebody wants an MS Office license, we can have a task created for our software team who will provision an MS Office license, this particular new hire. So all these forms can be completely customized and completely designed by you. And we also have an approvals module. So end user can be part of an approval process. A manager could be approve a new hire or something like that. So they get a link in an email, and when they click on the link, they can come back here and do an approval to support this particular ticket if they want to. Also, they could be an approver on problems and changes in approval. So all their approvals are here at the end user portal. They could be also part of a watcher. Watch list, so they can watch a ticket, the progress of the ticket and everything. So they can add comments to a ticket if they're watching a ticket. And this is like a My Ticket. So this is our end user portal. So now let me show you how the actual technician portal is thing. So technician portal, you can completely customize this login experience. You can have your own logo, your own text. We do not brand anything, our company on this thing. So it looks and feels just like your homegrown application. So here they can, since we connect to Active Directory, you can use your Active Directory credentials here. And also you can use the forget password. If they have a forget password, you can actually reset your Active Directory password using your password reset module. So let's log in. This is what the technician says. We also have announcement bar. This announcement bar can be targeted to the end user portal or the technician portal here. They can click on it and they can further have more information in the announcement bar. So we have a dashboard here. This dashboard is completely customizable. All these widgets can be created by you. We have like tons of widgets here, and also you can create your own widgets. We have like widgets for tickets, problem changes, approvals, asset management, software, contracts, all those numbers, charts, and tables, and everything. And if you want to build, you can build your own widget here. This is one of the powerful features in here, where you can like build your own custom widget based on different combination of parameters, and also you can name your own widget and build it. One thing in Boss Desk is like everything is clickable. and the system is highly configurable, and you don't have to come to us for configuration. You can do your own configuration. So anywhere you click on the widget, it will take you to the underlying data in our system. And each user gets their own dashboard, and they can customize it based on the role they perform in here. We also have a configuration management database because it's an ITSM product. Once we have connected to your Active Directory, we can pull all the assets from the Active Directory and do an inventory on them. So you can get all the hardware information, make, model, serial number, and anything. We also can get the warranty information for HP and Lenovo and Dell machines automatically from the vendor side. We can also have custom fields for assets and notes and attachments. We have a mobile application where you can scan the barcode and it can pull up all this information in here. This is a detailed inventory of the asset. We can link this particular asset to another asset, keyboard, mouse, and whatnot. These are all the tickets this asset generated or linked to the tickets. These are like all the users who ever logged into the system, all the contracts for this particular system, all the softwares running in the system. So everything is integrated into things. So we have softwares to contracts to vendor to users and all those things. We also have something called remote tools where so basically, if you have anything running on the command line, you'll be able to integrate it in here on the command line. We have software management here. We have contracts management. We have vendor management. We have purchase orders management here, right? And here. On the ticketing side, we have tickets. This is your ticket screen. So you have all the ticket data in here. And this ticket could be a part of the problem. I'll come back to it. We have notes, comments, public comments and private comments. You can add a private comment, so it's visible only to your tech team. You can add a task in here, timesheet entry, approvals processes, and you can link to an asset also. So when the end user submits a form from here, it will come as a ticket. For example, if I go to the end user, do a service catalog, I do a new hire, and I fill up this form on the technician portal, this will come in as a ticket to us. This is coming as a ticket to us here. So this ticket will, whatever we have, everything will be on here, on the tickets in here, and then it can be routed. And also, we have integration with other third-party remote control software, so you'll be able to start a session and do a remote control and help the end user right from your ticket screen. So you can they will get this link in an email, and they can click on the link. The technician clicks on the link, and we have custom fields for each and every ticket category. So these custom fields you can extend our software by adding your own custom fields, and these custom fields be added per ticket category or all ticket category. We can assign to a problem. Let me show you your problems. The problems are like here. You can define your problems, and all these tickets can be assigned to one problem, and this problem can be assigned to one ticket. And the same thing, like problem can have tasks, notes, and everything. We do have change management, and any process change you want to document in your organization, you can use our change management to to document that process. What is the rollout strategy? How you're going to roll back if something goes wrong? What is the change and everything? And here, and our form designer, our service catalog form designer is very, very easy to. You define some service categories, and then you design some service forms for the service categories. So in here, for example, the same new hire form, all you have to do is like drag and drop. For example, a new hire form, you just edit it, you give a name, title, and everything. Also, you can set the visibility. Since we integrated Active Directory, you can set the visibility to only selected groups. So you can get approval process. So you can have agent-only forms, the technician-only forms, and you can just drag and drop any field you want from our form designer and move them around and everything. And you can have different controls and everything, different hierarchical data. And also our form design comes with an option where you can use this newly designed control in our routing engine. So if you want in the routing engine, you can, based on the selection of these different elements, you'll be able to do a workflow on them. You can also create tasks when the form is designed. So let me show you how the routing works. So once the form is designed, the end user starts requesting the forms. We can have routing engine. In this routing engine, every ticket goes to the routing engine here. So we can define a routing. For example, so MS Office, somebody wants to have an MS Office on there. So we can say when the ticket comes in, if the service request form is a new hire form and somebody selected. So these are the fields available for you in routing. I can say yes. Then if it is yes, then do some actions. We have conditions and actions. You can perform various tasks and actions, and you can build your workflow. You can have multiple routing, and each ticket will go through that routing in here. We do have surveys. So at the end of the ticket, we can send them a survey, and also you can build your survey forms also. We have service level agreements where you can we can put SLAs for tickets based on their ticket priority and based on also some condition, if it is coming from corporate, if it is coming from, and what are the priorities. So we have to respond within and resolve within and all those things. Then we can escalate it. We do have custom fields. We can track locations. See, this is our announcement bar. We do integrate with a lot of other softwares here. Our security is role-based security, so you can define, set up everything as a role-based security. We can bring all the groups, and we can target these forms and workflows to the groups. We can build teams, so and we can say only HR team can work on HR tickets and so on. We can build approval boards and everything. We have knowledge base. We can create knowledge base categories and then publish knowledge base articles. And these knowledge base can be targeted to different fields. So we can have an technician articles, we can all end user articles, or you can have like one for facilities, one for maintenance, or one for HR, something like that. So we have that option too. And on the also on the purchase management side, we can it can automatically create systems, so you will be able to track your system from the day it was received till end of life. It also integrates Active Directory, and also we will be able to reset Active Directory password. It comes with a beautiful reporting engine. So with this report, all this reporting engine is context sensitive. So click on any report thing, and it will take you to the underlying data. And the system is very, very customizable. You'll be able to build your own searches and pin it here. And also you have a beautiful query engine where you can build any kind of query you want. And also you can query data, you can export into an Excel spreadsheet also. We have on the asset management side, you can build, we do have a remote agent where if it is like a roaming laptop and all, we can install a remote agent and you'll be able to collect inventory at any point of time. We have remote tools. So anything which is running on a command line, you will be able to bring into Boss Desk, as long as it can run on a command line in your system, in your network, you'll be able to bring it in there. We also have a scheduler component where you will be able to schedule tickets way ahead of time, and also your scheduler is on a calendar also in here. With that, I will hand over to Ben, where he is going to explain how he has customized and implemented this product for his organization. Thank you all.
All right, thank you, Vishu. I appreciate that. And I'm hoping everybody can see my screen okay. And there's a lot to Boss Desk. You know, the great thing about the product, I will say, after seeing that presentation by Vishu, is there's a lot of ways to configure it. There's a lot of ways to make it do what you want it to do. But for the user, it's a very simple interface. It's a very customizable interface. but it's also just very easy to use. And that's one of the reasons why we chose it and why I think it's been a pretty successful implementation so far. So I'd like to go ahead and just real quick here, just kind of give you a little bit of overview information. My name is Ben Sellers, and I'm a Systems Analyst here in the IT department at Lexington County School District 1. We're located in Lexington, South Carolina. We're about 2 hours from the mountains and 2 hours from the beach, from Charleston. So it's just a great location. And a lot of people seem to think so because we are just experiencing phenomenal growth right now. We currently have 29 schools. We've built 3 or 4 schools within the last, I'd say, 3 years. And we have a new middle school opening next year. So we currently have about 26,000 students. And like I was saying, we are growing very, very rapidly. And we currently have about 4,500 staff. So we do have needs to support that infrastructure. And we needed a ticketing system that would be robust enough, yet easy to configure, so that we could handle all of the issues that come from having growing pains in a big district like we have. So here are some of the challenges issues that we needed to address whenever we were looking for an ITSM-based system. We did have a ticketing system. It was a legacy homegrown app. It was written in PHP. The person who wrote it left long ago, and we just kind of were keeping it going, just trying to keep it alive. There were some other departments who had also purchased help desk applications. A lot of these had run out of maintenance support already. And they also came to us because we were in IT and we provide the infrastructure and the applications and access to those applications for the district. They said, we need something too. So whenever you go and try and purchase something, think about us as well. So we did our due diligence and we selected Boss Desk, and we began the implementation in January of 2017. So we built all of our service requests that are part of the service catalog, and we currently have 14 service request types as part of our implementation. And we have about 30,000 tickets and requests in the system right now. Now, not all of those are actually ones that were entered by people in the new system. We actually were able to bring over some of the tickets from the legacy system so that we would be able to have that history. So I'd like to go ahead and go out to Boss Desk and look at our implementation and just try and give you an overview of it. And before I show you some of the forms, I do want to say up front that due to privacy concerns, we're not able to show any data specific to students or staff. We can certainly show you the forms and show you ones that I've created for myself, but we do have to maintain privacy for all the people in our district. So before I get going, I wanted to just tell you something a little bit about how I go about designing forms in Boss Desk. So our target audience are people who work at schools, obviously. And I think back to my own mom who taught for 42 years in public schools. And I just remember her coming home every day after work with just these big black grade books and tons of assignments that she had to correct and give to the students the next day. She didn't have time to do it at work. And nothing's really changed in education. We have teachers who literally go from class to class, and then they have lunch duty or recess supervision, and they literally don't have a lot of time to go and submit tickets. So it's important whenever you're designing a system like this for education that you make sure that it's a simple interface, that it's simple and quick, and that somebody who has a limited amount of time can go in there and submit their request and get it worked. So I always just try to think about, you know, if my mom was filling this out, how much information would be the bare minimum that I need to capture, and then at the same time have enough information in there so that the agent or the tech could work the problem too. So I'd like to go over to the service catalog real quick and just kind of show you our service requests. I don't think I'll be able to get all of them in there. We have quite a few here. So we have a mixture of the standard type of requests that you have for hardware issues that you might need resolved, or software, or if you're having trouble getting on the network. But we have some other requests in here that are not handled by our IT department. So for instance, you see food services work orders, you see maintenance work orders. Those are groups outside of IT who maintain their own ticket queue and who have requests submitted into them. So IT does not even touch those. So that part I'm going to cover just a little bit later, but it just kind of adds another level of complexity to the system that we have to be careful whenever we're designing new forms and so forth for the users out there. In addition, we have this form over here called PVT service request, and that actually is used by an external vendor. So one of the features that Vishu was covering was the ability to submit these tickets, and you'll be able to talk back and forth with comments to the submitter. Well, we actually create a ticket in our system, and that ticket gets routed through email to our external telecom vendor. They can actually work the problem or the request and then respond through the email to indicate that they fixed it and to go ahead and close the ticket. So that's just been a very useful tool that we've had that enables us to kind of allow the vendor to kind of extend our help desk so that they can handle the issues, and yet we're not having to create duplicate orders in their work order system, and yet we can still get the tickets resolved quickly. So now what I'd like to do is just go over one of our service requests just to kind of give you an idea of how we designed most of these. So I think I'll go to software applications. And one thing that I wanted to just kind of emphasize in all this is that we have what we call a front end for the user-facing experience for a service request, and then we have the back end, which is handled by the techs, the IT techs, and in this case, they're called agents in the system. So we're trying to make the front end experience as simple and as seamless as possible, understanding that when it comes time to try to generate the resolution for the problem, that the techs on the back end, they can use more of the custom fields to capture the information. So here's our software application service request. And one of the first questions I ever get whenever someone is looking at this is that they see that there's two fields here, and they both say requester. Well, we have a lot of people in the district who are substitute teachers, and many of these are not actually in our system. So they come to the class for the day, they check in, they go through the teacher's plan for the day and teach the students and leave, and they might not have access to Active Directory or to the email. So we allow someone who does work in the district to put in a ticket for them. So for instance, let's suppose that I was putting in a ticket for someone else who's having trouble with their Gmail account. And let's just say that I work at Deerfield Elementary School, and that the requester is a man by the name of John Teacher, and he's having trouble with his email. So we can also capture information like room and their phone. And then in here, I can put in a short description. We try to encourage people to just make this as brief as possible because this actually shows up in the ticket view. Then in the detailed issue, I can type a book. So they can type as much information as they want to, and then they can upload an attachment. If, for instance, they have a screenshot of the error message that they might be getting whenever they're accessing Gmail, and then they can click request. So that's the front end. Takes a couple of minutes. They can submit it and be on their way. Now they have a view where they can actually see the tickets that they submitted, and it also shows any comments made by the agent, the tech in other words. So here is the ticket, and this is what I call the ticket view, which just basically just shows some information about the ticket and allows you to see all of them. Now, I do want to talk a minute about routing. Vishu touched on it a little bit in his presentation, but here I wanted to just emphasize how important it is to set up your routing rules when you start. Routing rules allow you to look at information on the ticket and then determine where that ticket goes. So down here, we have some of that information for the requester. And what we do in our district is we look at the school that they're at. And based upon what school they're at, we will route the ticket to that particular team that's located in the school. So every school in middle and high, and in most of the elementary schools, has a help desk along with a tech. And we can route all of the tickets to them. They can resolve them and communicate back to the user pretty quickly. So it doesn't ever come over to us who are actually in the IT department. It all gets submitted, worked, and closed down at the school. So right here in the middle, you'll kind of see a breakdown of all the information that they put in the ticket. Now, what I think is the most powerful feature, and another one that Vishu talked about just a minute or two, is the ability to communicate back and forth through the ticket. Now, you can set this up whenever you're putting in a comment to either be visible and sent to the user, or you can set it as private in case you want to put any kind of configuration information in there that might be sensitive that you don't want someone else to see. So in this case, I put in a ticket to the user saying that I fixed their error in their account. They'll get an email with that. They can respond to it if they want. If not, then they have the resolution in their email. Then down here, I've made a private comment, and I can just put my own comment here that could be seen by other techs. So I think that's a pretty powerful feature because if there's one thing we're trying to avoid is having to work a ticket in one system and then respond with email in another system like Gmail or Outlook. We're trying to avoid that as much as possible, and having that automated email that gets sent to the user is a very strong reminder to them to communicate back and forth with us, and it's branded as Boss Desk, so they're getting to learn the system as well as communicate with us. Over here in the details section, we have some custom fields and just some fields that are kind of come in the standard package. We try to not add too many fields over here for the user, or I'm sorry, for the agent, because we do want them to resolve it quickly, but they can set status. They can change the in progress. They can say it's on hold. They can put additional information here in the comments. They can even put due dates and so forth on there. And then when they're ready, they can close it. So most of our service requests are built the same way. We try to minimize the amount of custom fields that we put on there, although we can add as many as we want, and the design for that is very simple and very easy to use. But most of them have the same type of format here. So we have the tickets, and we just get several, I'd say probably 50 to 60 a day, something around that throughout the system. But we have to manage that. And the managers, whether they're principals or they're department managers at the district office, they want to be able to see that high level view of the tickets. So they come to the dashboard. And the dashboard just shows counts. You can also see the pie charts. And each one of these items, like Vishu said before, is clickable and will take you to a ticket list for that particular group of tickets. So if I clicked on food services right now, I would see a list of all the 177 open tickets for food services. So this, coupled with the reporting, section here, the reporting module, allows our managers to stay on top of the number of tickets that are coming in. And just like the dashboard with the widgets, everything here is customizable. You can determine what you want to see. This widget here, which is what I call the universal or the multi-purpose widget, is just something that is really been strongly used by most of the people here in the district because it is so customizable. We can customize ticket type, category, who the team is. So for instance, if I want to see all the ones that are part of my team, which is IT ERP, I can select that. And basically, it lets you create whatever you want on here, as many widgets as you want. And that's just proven to just be such a very powerful tool for managers. There's other things that are, or other modules here that are very important to us as well, like Knowledgebase. And we have quite a few articles here, and that enables us to have some self-help for the user. And it enables them to go in and see and try to fix the problem themselves if they feel inclined. We have a lot of teachers out there who are very tech savvy and can solve their own problems. And then we have some that just need a little bit of help. And then there are others who can call into the help desk and get the help they need. One thing that's important to note here is you can have some front-facing knowledge-based articles that are the ones that will be seen by a user, and then you have some that would be only seen by the agents or the techs. So that's important that you set the permissions on there properly. Now I'd like to just talk for a minute or two about service requests for non-IT groups. And this part of Boss Desk, I will have to say, was a little bit of a challenge. Being in IT for 20 years, you really get to program in certain ways and think about ticketing systems being used in a particular way, and you don't always think about the end user and how they might use it differently. And we ran into that, and I'd like to share an example or two about that. So what I would say is the most important challenge to consider when you're building these kind of requests, like we did for food services and maintenance, is these outside departments will want to use the system differently from IT. And just to kind of explain that, let me talk about the maintenance group. So we had implemented Boss Desk for IT, and other groups had taken notice, especially after our CIO had made several presentations across the district. And maintenance came to us. They had a legacy ticketing system. It was not supported. It was end of life, so to speak, and they wanted to become part of the Boss Desk. So our goal was to mimic as closely as possible that legacy app, because the more we can make it work like the other application, then the less of a learning curve we're going to have. And they were beginning to have a lot of problems with their system, and so the speed of migration needed to be pretty quick. And whenever we in IT think about the ticketing process, this is what we think about how it should work. A user either calls into a help desk or they submit a ticket, and then that ticket gets picked up electronically by a team agent, a member. They work the problem, communicate through the ticket, and close it. It's the same kind of cycle. I've been in help desks for several years now, and it's pretty much stayed that kind of same kind of scheme or worldview. It's always been the same that way. But maintenance came to us, and they were set up quite differently. Maintenance consists of a central building where they have secretary and other executive type level personnel. And then you have each of the schools, and there you have custodial staff there. And then you have traveling maintenance techs. And so when they came to us, instead of us developing this like a typical ticket process, this is what they wanted. They wanted the user to be able to go to the custodial staff at the store, or I'm sorry, at the school, and say, hey, there's a pipe that's busted in the boys' locker room. It needs to be fixed. Well, the custodial staff there will actually submit a ticket using the service request, and then that ticket goes to the maintenance secretary. And at this point, she actually printed all of them out. Whatever the tickets that came in for that day, if they weren't emergency tickets, would print them out, and then all the maintenance techs would come the next morning, and she would distribute them manually. And you may say to yourself, well, this seems like that would be kind of an inefficient way of doing things. But if you consider this, that most of the techs did not have access to the Boss Desk application on their phone, and a lot of them, in fact, didn't even have district-supplied phones, then it makes it difficult to try to just allow them to use some mobile application to communicate with Boss Desk. So this was how they worked. And so their concern mainly was making sure that the ticket was optimized for printing out. So it was a completely different way of designing and programming that I was familiar with. But it was the need that they had, and we had to meet that need. So when I say that other groups can use this differently, that's what I mean. It means that you have to meet frequently with the users of the system and find out what their main concerns are, and understand that something like printing out tickets for IT might seem a little archaic, but for other groups, it's the way they do business. And by the way, here's the final result. It is as similar as we could get to the legacy ticketing system. One of the main carryovers that we had from that system was here under the category. They had certain naming conventions for the issue that they were experiencing, and they wanted those kept. And so we said, certainly we can do that. And by the way, to show you just how quickly you can develop here, from meetings to implementation for this took about 2 weeks. So this is a very nimble system for developing and implementing. And I just wanted to cover just I guess, some tips and tricks that I've experienced and that some of the other people here have experienced that might help you when you're considering a ticketing system like Boss Desk. Keep it simple, especially on the front end. So we are dedicated to try to make sure that the speed of entry for these tickets comes in quickly, is picked up quickly by the agent, and resolved. Understand where the ticket is going to go after the user submits it. You need to spend a lot of time on your routing rules. Understand that based upon the category that someone selects, it may route outside of their school depending upon the severity of the problem. It's a bit different from someone saying my keyboard is not working to all of the projectors are not on the network. The first one is something that can be resolved by the tech. The second problem is something that probably needs to come back here, where someone would look at a router and try and figure out what's going on. Use drop downs as much as you can. Anytime the user can select from a value, it leads to more consistent information being entered in. If you work in a school system, especially like we do, you understand that it's a system of schools. Each principal who kind of sets the tone for the school, they work a little bit differently. So in the case of Boss Desk implementation for us, some want to keep an eye on their tickets very closely, while others want to let their APs watch the tickets. So especially when we're designing these and implementing these, we have to understand that administrators and teachers are busy. We have to do a lot of the legwork on the service catalog setup and try to just insert ourselves into their day and ask pointed question when it's necessary. The watcher feature is very important. A principal who has the need for a projector in the classroom, especially for us in elementary school, is very concerned about when that projector gets fixed, because our teachers have mostly an online curriculum. They need to be able to present to the students using projector. And if it's broken, it takes down a class. So using the watcher feature for principals, being able to watch tickets that are important to them, allows them to stay in the loop and leads to them being able to answer questions from those above them on when equipment is going to be coming into their school. One of the things that we wanted to make sure whenever we implemented the system is we wanted to make sure that the schools would react to this new system positively. So our CIO went to several meetings, both at schools and at school meetings with administrators like principals and so forth, just to kind of give them an overview, and make them try to buy into the process and buy into the system. And that helps. The more that you can show a positive system and how it can benefit someone, then it's just going to make it better. And I would also say, communicate through the ticket. You don't want to communicate through an email and then come back to your system and try to manage those two streams, because it just makes it so difficult to manage. So that's all I have for right now. And so I think we're ready to open it up to some questions.
Thank you so much, Ben. That was really great presentation. Really appreciate that. So like you said, we're going to open it up to some questions. All right, so questions. Okay, this one is actually for Ben. Ben, how long did it take you to implement your Boss Desk service catalog?
All told, I would say you have to understand that each one of those service requests that you see there, we didn't have them all done at the same time. What we did is we kind of hit the low-hanging fruit, which was hardware and software. So I would say the major ones we probably had done within probably 2 or 3 months. We have since added several more. And like I was saying, when we were implementing the maintenance one, that took about 2 or 3 weeks. So there's a rapid, what I would call rapid prototyping, where you can quickly deploy your service request. So.
Okay. I do just want to remind everyone, at the very bottom of your screen, you're going to see a Q&A. It's the little question and answer box. That's the place to submit your questions. I do have a question here from Anna. Is there a way to display sort tickets by last updated?
That's a good question. That might be a question more for Vishu. I think you have to have the field on the screen. I'm not sure about that. Vishu, do you think you can answer that?
Yeah. So. Okay, let me see. So the question was, can we sort tickets by last updated? Yeah. So we have dates here. So all you have to pull up the last. You can customize the screen. Anyone can customize the screen based on what columns they want to see and hear. So if you wanna sort the tickets by last updated, you should be able to pull in the last update field. Here it is. Bring it here, apply, and here now I can sort by last updated. So here. Hopefully that answers the questions.
Okay. So, Ben, what has been the reaction of the schools that you serve?
The reaction has been very positive. You know, a ticketing system, it goes hand in hand with service that you provide. So we couldn't do a good help desk and provide that good service without a good ticketing system, and you could have a great ticketing system and have bad service, and you'll get unhappy users. It has been very positive. We have several different ways for people to submit tickets. We even have like a little kiosk at some of the schools where students can go and put in tickets for their damaged iPads. So far, it's just been very positive experience for everyone.
Okay, another question for you, Ben. What is the biggest lesson you've learned? And if you had to do it again, what would you have done differently?
Yeah, the biggest lesson I learned, and like I said before, I've developed in a few different platforms over the years. I would say that I would try to do, I guess, a lot more interviews with subject matter experts, trying to understand people's needs a little bit better. I think we did a pretty good job in designing the system, but it's just always helpful to get that user feedback. And if I had to do something differently, I think it would still be just try to spend more time, I guess, in the planning part of the implementation, getting the requirements, and then because the more requirements that you get on the front end and understand what needs to be built, it helps later on in the development process when you find out from the user, oh, well, that's really not how we wanted it to work. And so I just think that I would spend a little bit more time with the users in the front end. We were kind of up against it. We had a system that was really broken, and we just needed to be able to deploy quickly, and Boss helped us do that.
Okay, thank you, Ben. This one is for Vishu. Vishu, when sending out surveys, is there a satisfaction percentage associated with the responses?
Yeah, when you send out surveys, the survey results are collected in a report. So you go to your report section. Once the end user has the user has filled up the survey, we get everything as a report. So in this case, we sent out 6 surveys and 1 is submitted. So we can calculate all the percentage and everything, who did what and who sent what and everything based on this. This is the form we designed. Each customer can have their own surveys, and this is like all the survey replies and everything. And also what we can do is like we can actually export the survey results as a Excel spreadsheet, and you can do all kind of transformation in Excel if you want to. So all the results are converted to an CSV file so that you can consume this file in an Excel spreadsheet. So yes, that's part of you can calculate the percentage and everything if you want.
Okay, and the next question we have is, Ben, how long does the ticket get closed by your outside vendor in the service catalog?
The ticket doesn't actually physically get closed by the vendor. What happens is when they receive the email, they respond to the email with what their resolution was for the problem, whether it was new headset ordered or new phone ordered, or the telephone line was fixed, and then that gets sent back, and then through the email, and the person who's in charge of managing that vendor, the telecom vendor, they actually go in and close the ticket. So we add the district personnel being able to close the ticket.
The next question is for you, Ben. It is, do you have any future plans to expand this to other departments?
Yes, I think we do. We are looking at other options for our transportation group. There's, I'm sure, other departments who want to try to manage some of their requests as well. It's just right now we're in the process of just expanding the use of the system more than we are geared towards trying to get other groups to use it right now. So we're just in kind of a maintenance and expanding use of it, more so than trying to develop new solutions for the departments. But I'm sure they will be coming.
Okay. The next question is for Ben. Question on response times, closing ticket times.
Okay. I'm not sure what the question is. If you're talking about SLAs, that's set up in the system. We haven't used that as much at this stage. We will probably be using that. If you're wanting to know how long does the ticket stay open before it gets closed, that's variable. We try to respond to every ticket within a few hours, and then as far as resolution, we try to handle that within a day. It all depends, though, on the issue, because if your problem is projector is down, then ordering a new projector, we have to put in purchase requests for that. That could take a week or two. So it is kind of variable, but in general, for the kind of issues that we can resolve at the desktop level, we generally try to get those closed within a day.
Okay. And the next question, Ben, does the system provide technology for feedback or satisfaction results?
We can. We like Vishy was covering earlier, you can send out a survey. That's something that we haven't really implemented yet.
Okay.
We do get comments back from the users through the systems saying, kind of giving their comments on how the process went. But no, we haven't used that survey feature yet.
Okay. The next question is for Vishu. Is there a way to plug in a chat option within BOSS, possibly within the Service Cloud, so that end users are able to connect directly with IT?
Yeah, we'll be having a chat functionality in our application sometime in the Q1 of next quarter. Right now, we do integrate with TeamViewer, and we have integrated the TeamViewer remote session, but we will be integrating TeamViewer chat option also into the product. And there could be some third-party chat options also.
Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone, for your questions. We're going to take one more. This is for Vishu. Does BOSS push the due date back?
Yes. So the ticket SLA gets passed, and it's not calculated against an SLA violation. It does not. It does not push the due date back. It will be not under a violation. It just passes the system. So the total time calculation on that particular ticket will be minus whatever stage that ticket was passed in. Hope that answers the question.
Okay, thank everyone for your questions. If we did not answer your questions, we will be sending those out and answer those a little bit later on for you. Now to the fun part. The lucky winner of a $50 Amazon gift card, and Kelly's helping me here, is Deidre from Magnus Health Technology. So congratulations, Deidre. We will be sending that out to you. And I just want to thank you all so much for being with us today. We will be sending you out a survey again, and we would appreciate any feedback that you have. And we're here as you need us. Thanks and have a great day.